Oh yeah. All right, all right, all right. Let's go time, people. It is the time to go. What? All right. Bam, 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 bam. Whew. All right, all right. Yo, Bryce Daddy, what up, baby? Ooh, zesty. I would say that's a good list, Bryce. Keep that list, brother. Yeah, definitely keep that list. Good morning, everybody. Let's go in. Let's rage, man. Let's rage. Hey. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Everybody it? Co. Hey. Good morning, America. It's time to get going and do the Lord's work. Hey, Bryce, that's actually a very good list. The only thing I'd be a little careful. This UPST is trading very weird yesterday. It's still inside the flag, but was trading a little bit weird yesterday. The market itself is getting a little bit smoky McGee too. So we'll have to be careful today. I mean, there's nothing structurally changed about the market, but the price action was a little bit weird yesterday. So we do want to be just a little bit mindful. We're gapping down 0.65% after having a decent sized dump yesterday. And so we're just kind of, we're stuck in this range here. So what happens is, like, if you're like stuck in a range, even if it's for 4 or 5 days like this, the intraday price action can get a little bit weird, right? And so we saw that yesterday. A lot of failed breakouts, right? That was, I thought, the theme of yesterday. You had pushes into resistance that just were fading off, right? And so you want to be super mindful. Besides Nvidia, really, like, not that much stuff followed through yesterday, and of course you had your nuclear stocks, but that's running on a whole different theme of things. So just kind of keep all of that into mind as you go through. Today is a little bit more of a trickster, as we've got ourselves this like kind of big range that we're stuck in here for, really, like, if you look at it, we're at the same price as we were like 10 days ago, right? And in the same prices even the 10 days before that. So we're in this kind of range here, and we're consolidating under highs, but it doesn't look like the market has any right catalyst yet to break it over. The SPY itself is looking pretty good too. You're opening down 0.5%. If you look here too, right, we've been kind of drifting lower for a few days. And so there's been tradable things. But one of the things that's been happening is it's like a lot of random kind of small caps and these nuclears and stuff like that, right? Out of the big boys, like, there's been really nothing that's been following through for the last handful of days. So, and if you look, like, right, like, you have like Taiwan Semiconductor, it gaps up on these earnings, and right there's like no follow through, right? It's just been drifting lower for all these days. And so we're having like this kind of right action where you're getting not that much follow through. MU gapped up on these earnings, and then we've really just kind of been right meandering around for all of this time. So we do want to be a little bit careful here that we're not getting caught up in the weeds, because we are stuck inside a little bit of range. Now, the good thing is that there's been PR play after PR play. I would say probably like, right, half our trades have been in these like nuclears and stuff like that. And so there's still these awesome themes that are happening in the market that are really tradable and have tons of range on it. And so the focus is to be not necessarily like, oh, I'm going to trade AMD today, or hey, I'm going to trade Amazon today, but it's got to come in and say, like, hey, I'm going to be trading really where the money is flowing. So if you think about where the money has been flowing, it's been in, right, nuclears. I'm going to talk about day traders, not big money, right, but day traders. So the money's been flowing in the nuclears, And then beyond then, these guys did an offering, so I think they might be soft today. But let's see if it gets bought up. The money's been flowing to nuclears, and then the second part has been the money's been going into crypto stocks, right? For traders, right? So we've had MSTR really, right, nice, like a really nice trend for the last couple months, actually, right? It's more than it's doubled, and we're building out a little bit of a flag here. It tested the top of the Bollinger Band yesterday. And the interesting thing on this is that the weakness has been getting bought up. It gapped down yesterday and then ramped up 20, 20 points. It gapped down and ramped up 20 points, and it's been doing that a lot. So cryptos is where some of the other money has been flowing, and you see even coin, right? It was $160, goes to 220. So this is where we want to kind of keep our focus. This is where is the heat. Now, beyond that, if you look at the IWM did a failed breakout again. Again, part of this has to do with rates, all right? So rates were popping yesterday, and so that was really putting the shred on the IWM. It just rolled over like a mofo because, dude, I mean, this is right, pure sensitive to interest rates. And so if you see, right, TLT, look at TLT ever since they really started cutting rates, has actually been just drifting lower and lower, kind of coming back into its longer term range. That's, obviously not good for small caps. And we're getting a little delayed reaction on the IWM on this. So if you look at all, kind of some of this stuff, your 10-year treasury yield, look at this bad boy, right? Like, you've been yields have been rising. So even though we're in an interest rate cutting cycle, the yields have been rising. Most of that's probably due to an anticipation that maybe the Fed is not cutting in this current meeting that will be coming up, I believe, November? Ooh. Hold on here. Just get my serum in. A little copper peptide for the soul. A little copper peptide for the soul. So keep an eye on this too. Rising yields. If the yields go bajonkers, right, that's going to put a lot of pressure on the market, right? It's going to put a lot of pressure on the market. So keep an eye on TNX. Keep an eye on TLT. It'll be hard for the IWM to, right, bust loose without that. And I think that was probably like some of the failed breakouts in like UPST kind of a firm kind of stocks. Probably some of that has to do, right, with this little doohickey right here. And guys, if you're watching anything, just let me know. We'll go over the tickers and get this all going too, and to get the Lord's work going. Dude, nasty, right? Now you are back into support, but like this kind of support only works right in a trending environment. Like you're still stuck in a range on this. So I don't think we've got anything necessarily right there. Bryce Daddy, what up, baby? All right, so IWM, Rundy, SPY, still stuck in range, weak open. But look, if it breaks under the 9 EMA, right, you got a little bit of room to fall. You may come back and retest this. So you do have to kind of keep these scenarios into the back of your head. And then the QQQs is acting like a Rundy. You've got kind of a 3-day range right here. If it loses this, then we're probably kind of start to kind of suction down into that 488. So just be mindful. If that happens and you're longing stocks, you only want to be longing stocks that have a PR out, that have a press release out, that have some type of catalyst out, right? We're in earnings season. There'll be some catalyst going. So now let's roll through this, all right? Look at GNPX. Man, this is small cap heaven for some of you guys, huh? HYZN. Hey, this fun for you day traders out there. This one's got a little bit of action going on. You can roll with something like this. Like, I wouldn't be necessarily opposed to it. It's just not my specific flavor. Heck yeah. Yeah, the yields are keep trucking here. So we're gonna have to be, dude, we're gonna have to be careful today, I think. Whoa, ba-da-ba-ba. Dude, yeah, you can play it if you want. I'm not opposed to it. Look at 3M, adjusted earnings, sales rise. These are the fuckers that introduced the world of microplastics, by the way. So if your balls aren't working, maybe your girl's looking a little bit chunky. A lot of this stuff is the microplastics. We shouldn't be buying this stock, but I can understand why they're making so much damn money. Whew. You can roll with this. Look, so 3M stinks the train, but the last time it had earnings, look at this. It opened at 113, got to 128. It had some juice on it. Like it wasn't, we put it on the watch list and then I just tossed it because I was like, fuck, it's 3M. Like, how much can it go up? And then it ripped almost 20 points intraday, right? Like it just trended up the whole damn day. They just had a giant buy program going on this thing. And this fucking thing went up the whole day. So don't be opposed to something like this. It's not the sexiest of names, of course. But usually when you get something like that, you can roll with it. So I'd add this. Let's put it on. Fuck it. Hey, man. EXK, guys. Silver, by the way. If you are a swing trader, anybody swing trader? If you're a swing trader, you should have a piece of some silver, right? You should have a piece of some silver. You should have a piece of some silver stocks. Maybe not buying up on here, but if you start to pull back, if you're not in any, because look, all these silver stocks are clearing range, but they have a long way to catch up. They got a long way to catch up from the actual price of silver. So you can see like SVM. There's a whole host of these kind of silver names. Hold on. Silver. Right, you got MAG, SVM, AG. Paz, man, this CDE, MAG. You got a whole host of these bad boys here. Hold on. Yeah, EXK always looks the best to me, but I'm like beholden to that one from back in the day. Look at HL's breaking out. Right, this Paz. It's a $9 billion company. It's not like some like penny stock. That's hot. I mean, that's a flat top breakout. You tuck some of that into your IRA, 401k. Look at this SSRM, big, right? You got a big juicy base on this one. FSM, AG. There's even a 2X ETF for silver. So what's it called? AGQ. Right. So this was actually pretty good. Look at this thing. It's got good enough range. And so you got all these there. There's a long way to go to catch up to the price of silver for some of these things. So just something to keep an eye on. If you look here, let's do a weekly chart real quick. That's a breakout from 2013, guys, right? So you got yourself 10 years and some change. I mean, a lot happens in 10 years, right? So now you're starting to break this thing loose. And look, you can see you're kind of a slightly extended on the weekly. I mean, you did have a rest day here. So you want to be a little bit careful. It should pull in the next handful of days and then be ready to snag a few. And it's good. Like, it's not going to be, right? It's not going to make you rich or anything. But, you're going to have retirement accounts and things that you need to do some swing trades in. Like if you're day trading in your retirement account, damn, you're such a fucking legend. But you're such a legend, but you're gonna, probably it's not gonna be lasting that long, right? It's hard to do it in your day trade account long term. DJT, love this one. Add this to the watch list. You got it. You got it. This thing is ready to pop that 31.72, 32 zone. is a decent level. It's not like some epic level, right? But it's a decent enough level to act as a release point and a support spot. And you got room up to 34 before you run into any resistance. It can get there in one candle, right? But what's going to happen, if it does break over the 200-day moving average, you're going to get a lot more something something on this thing. And so we definitely, dude, this is hot. And plus, you gotta love the McDonald's gig, anyways. That was fucking legendary. That's okay. All right, add this. So we got DJT. This earnings season does feel a little bit light. Netflix had a good reaction, but we haven't seen much else. Look at this, Philip Morris. Earnings rise lifts your outlook. How are these people still? Oh, business. That's a shit. All right. You can add this too. It might be a little bit of a trender grinder, but nothing sexy. But I think we can add that to the list for now, and then we'll talk about how we're going to play it in a little bit. Junk, Chinese stocks, junk. So you can see here, right? There's very little moving around today. The market has been muted the last couple days, minus the nukes. GPC, Genuine Auto Parts. Hey, this is a big breakdown. It's getting dusted here on earnings. Earnings fall, net sales rise, blah, blah, blah. When you have like a little bit of a base like this and then you break down on the earnings, those are usually the best candidates to like day trade, because you have like clearly defined levels. Now, the issue on this one is probably going to be more of a liquidity thing. It only does about 1 million shares a day in volume. So you don't have necessarily like some big, right? It's a big monster cock kind of liquidity to get in and out, but I think it might do enough. There might be a little bit of a spread on it. Expa, junk. Los Tigres. Look at all these Chinese stocks. They're bear flagging. I don't know what's going on with these. It looks like maybe it was just a 1 week pump and they're done. Like, you're not supposed to pull back this hard on these Chinese stocks. They may just be done. I mean, they are giving back all of it slowly but surely. So maybe they're just done. I'm not sure. Yeah, you're starting, they spent 4 or 5 days hanging here, so I'm not completely sure they're done, but I am a little bit concerned that again, they're not going to do. My signal is if they start to break and hold over the 9 EMA and the 9 EMA starts to curl back up, all right, I'll be interested in them, because you don't really have to time the bottom on it, right? Like, once it starts to speed up, it doesn't matter if you're like on day 1 of the move or day 2 of the move. We're short-term traders. Like, it's all the same shit. Yeah, not much action in them, though. Look at this. Wolf is pulling back, too. I'd keep an alert on this one. I actually like this one. If the semiconductors reverse, you got yourself a 3-day pull now after this big pop. They secured the financing. You got this nice 3-day pull. Set an alert at the 9 EMA. If it gets close, so maybe like about 20 cents above the 9 EMA, if it gets close, that's probably going to be, a potential spot to start, not buy, but to start watching and see like where it settles. And then we'll be able to pull. So you could see like you popped on about 70 million shares in volume, and then you've been just grinding down on low volume. This is an awesome bottoming pattern. Like, this is what you want to see. Dead stock, no range, no volatility, and then all of the sudden, right, you start to just push right through. Let's go. All right. I'm liking it. Add it through. Hey, Danny, let me see. Danny, how'd you find those tickers, by the way? Let me see those bad boys. These are okay to trade. I don't know if you'll have options on these, right? That doesn't have enough liquidity and they're stuck in range. I need you to trade hotter stuff. What do you want to do with these? Give me an idea. Which ones are longs, which ones are short? But I would say toss all of them. I would say toss all of them. You need hotter, more range, more liquidity, better heat. But yeah, let me know which ones are longs or short. All right, Leticia, what you watching there, darling? Cool. Now let's get into our regular watch list. Not much for gappers here. So out of it, 3M, DJT, Philip Morris. Good. Let's go in. So I got a couple names here that I like here, if they can break. And Danny, you want to trade options, right? None of those they might not even have options on those stocks. If this Oracle breaks here, I would say let's go in with 177-ish. I think you got yourself another flag breakout on this. My worry on this is that some patterns have been failing. Now, look, it's a beautiful chart. So this is your hourly move. And then, right, you really tighten up. You really tighten up on these things. This has got a lot of liquidity too, right? Like, you trade 10 million shares a day. Like, that's going to be a better stock probably. So keep that on watch. You got the Cart Nation here. So you got a big pop up here, a little Flagzilla that comes out of it. Not the sexiest of names. Let me just say something right now, too. This watch list and these news plays today, it's a sausage party, right? Today, there's not a grade A setup. There's no grade A setups. Like the last few days, we walked in the market, we're like, these 5 things are so hot, we're going to make a shitload of money. Today is more like it's 1:45 a.m. at the bar, and you're going to take what you can get, right? You're going to take what you can get. So that's usually going to be, right, a little cigarette smoking tattoo girl, and you just you do what you got to do, like you just got out of prison, right? That's what the stocks are looking like today. So we're going to just have to be careful. There's nothing that hot. Now, we may unhot something, but we got to be careful. NVIDIA is probably the best setup because you broke out the all-time highs. You actually had follow-through yesterday, and you got a week open. So I think this has got a chance. If it dumps off at the open a little bit, my guess would be that the first pullback, it gets bought up. And it gets bought up probably aggressively as long as the market itself doesn't shit itself. So watch and see how this thing starts to react. Like if you get a quick $2-3 dump on this thing, like they're buying it up most likely. If that happens, then we'll do the calls on it. And I would just go next strike price, nothing crazy, Friday expiration, and we'll scalp out of them. If we get 40, 50% or whatever. That may be the quickest of the buck today on the large caps. APLD, you got a flag breakout on this one. It had an awesome close on this too. That's what I'm interested in this one. It had a very nice close on this, right? So you got yourself 80-cent pop. So what's that, about 10% into the close? That's looking pretty good. Uber, after you finally broke out of this range, notice how you're just kind of meandering here, right? You got 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 days. It's been just chilling. If it comes out of this range right here, it should release and start drifting its way back, right? To me, so you can see here, right? You pop up to 87 and then you just orderly pull back. Now you've been building out some range here at the 79.80 spot. You've been building out some range at the 79.80 spot. So if you can release out of this 81, we should start to get this thing back up into this. This is your classic breakout pullback, especially on a heavier float name, which is like it's got 2 billion share float, right? So you pop up and you just kind of grindage it back. That's the way you want to go with it. So keep an eye out on about 81. If it takes it, I think you could do it. It's probably, to me, it looks a little bit more like a swing trade setup than a day trade setup in that it trades thick. It's a little bit of a grinder, right? You're not going to get MPCs out of this thing. And, if you're a day trader, you live for MPCs, right? That's the whole ball game. So we're not going to get any MPCs out of this, but I think it's still doable. This I like too, right? So you got Zoom. Look at this thing. Right, you're taking out all these levels here. Now, I got a couple worries on this for today in that it is up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row. When you get a stock that's up 6 days in a row, like you don't always, you can see it's been grinding for about $5 on the hourly. So in general, the rule of breakouts, guys, right? The rule of breakouts is that you never want to buy them post day 3. If you're a swing trader, if you're a day trader, it doesn't matter as much because you're limiting your risk on an intraday chart, right? But if you're a swing trader and you're buying stocks after they're up 5 days in a row, you have a recipe for failed breakouts and all of this kind of stuff. So just got to keep that into the back of your head. Oh, motherfucker. All right. Hold on. Just get my last bit of face creams on. Woo. Work that in, baby. I worked at it. Oh yeah, this is this is a process. You got to start with your serums. Depending on the time of the year too, you got to change around the serums. Is it wintertime? Do you need a little bit more moisture? Is it summertime? Are you looking for a little brightness in your day? There's a lot of different aspects to these things. So going back to the ZM, I think my guess is that we just leave this alone on the swing trade side, but on the day trade side, we can keep it if it gets over 72.50. PayPal's got a level here. I got an alert set at 81. Anything under 81, I don't want to touch because it's going to get stuck in range. Right now, with the market acting a little bit weak, a lot of times, like if you're just playing something inside the range, like it's just going to chop up and down and you're going to get chopped up. You're going to be like, wow, every time you buy, it's going to spike down and then you're going to sell and it's going to rip back. RKLB. Look at this bad boy. So you got a nice look here. You got a weak open. So look, let's just take away this pre-market action first. Look at this thing. That's a Buenos right there, right? That's a good looking stock right there. That's hot. Add this. This is probably near the top of the list. Hey, swing traders. Anybody that's a swing trader, multi-week holder, this pure cycle is hot. So right now it's coming out of its flag breakout. But on a longer term basis, if it can clear this 12, right? Dude, you're in the game on this. What do you think? I agree. That's hot. We're right in the sweet spot. 1179. We're right there. Hey, Lonner, how you doing? Yeah, we're right in the sweet spot. Set some alerts. Look, this thing used to be $35, right? So it's got ourselves a chance. Palantir. Ooh, Nolan, I didn't check that part. Palantir 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days consolidation. Very orderly, too. When you see something like this and it's this orderly, that's a good sweet spot on it. When the market picks up some steam, when the QQQ starts to, not be such a little bastard, then I think this Palantir probably leads the way. If you see here, this 45 is your all-time highs. That's an IPO breakout. IPO breakouts are very powerful, right? So if we can kind of unstuck ourselves in the general market, we're gonna have ourselves a little pizza party on this Palantir. All right, so it's just gotta it should hold this area here, but yeah, keep an eye on this one. Like this is a hot. All right. Yeah, keep it. Pan W had an upgrade today. Oppenheimer just price target Palantir to 450 from 410. I want to call it upgrade as price adjustment, but it's still got a look. But yesterday, failed breakout on this. I mean, there were failed breakouts of these kind of resistance points everywhere yesterday. So, that's why I'm a little bit apprehensive on the market today. We want to be careful. UPSD is still flagging. So you got the breakout. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. Right, the 9 EMA is tightening up here. It's got a good look, but it's going to need some work. All right. Yo, I think this Wolf, you got a flat open on this one. Let's see if it takes out this 630. You got a huge multi-year breakout in the works here. Hot. Keep it. Yeah, see, Smar is flagging out here. It may need some more time. I would consider it maybe like a B minus setup. B minus C plus. Zaman, how you doing, my brother? Good. Okay, and then we got boom. Yeah, this snow's been a little bit of a rundy too. I think, yeah, till the Q's reverses, this is probably, it's got multiple spots of support right here. It needs to kind of hold it, right? Otherwise, if it gets stuck back down here, it's gonna be shit for a while. Hey, this is what we got. We're dealing with the cream of the crap today. Now, look, there's some stocks here that I think maybe are a little bit more speculative that could work today. You got Serve here right at a breakout spot. It's like 1040. I'd keep an eye on this bad boy. This type of name is going right now, right? So you got Serve, right? You got Fun, and at least they're not like $2, right? They'll still have enough range to play around. Yeah, CRDO, whoever just sent that, this looks pretty good too. Let me see what kind of liquidity we got on this. It does a couple million shares. I'd keep it. That looks pretty good. That's a much better setup than, right? It's a lot more congealed than some of these others. Right? So if you look at that bad boy, that's pretty damn good right there. That's a good looker. Yeah, up 7%. You got your 9 EMA curls for the girls right up under the kitchen on this thing. You know, you're breakout the all-time highs. It's a buenos. I like it. I like it. Yeah, let me check on NNE. They had an offering on it, so let me see how big the offering was. Let's see. NNE. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, it wasn't terrible. Let me see. Yeah. 1.39 million shares. Not like a huge amount. Yeah, it's not a huge amount. There's some warrants too, huh? Huh. We'll see what's up. I'm not, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but it feels like they've probably had their run. Now let's see if we got anything on the economic side of things, right? Tuesday economic calendar, Red Book sales, right? Manufacturing index, but treasury buybacks, and nothing really. Fed speakers, Patrick Harker, he's nobody. I mean, he's somebody. He's probably a really nice guy, but right, nobody in terms of what we do. Commodities, orange juice, zinc. You can see the Nikkei down. Yeah, just a little bit of a mixed bag here. Let's see if we got any upgrades going on. Bum, 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 bum. So you got AMCX, CRVX, Floor, FSLR. Got a buy from Citi. You know, that might work. Citi usually has the better upgrades. It's sitting right at the 200-day moving average on FSLR. The whole sector's been shit, but that might work. Let's see what else is going on. CSIQ sell. Costco, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, nothing that sexy. So top earnings for the week. American Airlines, Boeing. Yeah, Boeing's going to be a dog. You got MMN, T-Mobile, Tesla's in a couple days, right? What day is Tesla on? Tomorrow. Hey. So that'll give us at least something, a little spark. And then you can see here, right? It's been just a little bit of a slog. All right. So nothing crazy here. All right. U.S. futures lower as Treasury yields move the wrong direction. So these rates, guys, keep an eye on TLT. These rates are really kind of moving the market around right now. The market is not happy with these rates going up. Trading up in the morning, PM, Triple M. We got Triple M, FSLR, PM, Philip Morris. All boring, but what can you do? This we might want to put on our list, right? GE. I think we could. GE Aerospace adjusted earnings, revenues rise, raises guidance. Not a good reaction so far, minus 10 points. Let's see here. Stock specific news and notes. Yeah, GE reported better earnings, but getting punished. General Motors has a big breakout on the daily. It's up about 2% right now. This we might want to put on our watch list. If you look at the chart on it, the daily chart is showing a breakout right around 50. The daily chart showed a breakout right around 50. Like that could be something new. Yeah, this go a bespoke report. It's like $100 a month or something. I've subscribed to it for years. You got Verizon, right? These are all junk. Phone companies stink to trade. But Verizon is moving around decent. SHW, that's Sherman Williams, I believe. So yeah, both of these look like dogs. So does GE. Nucor is also down. PHM is Pulte Homes. All right, cool. So let's go back and check this. This is all junk. Futures are pointing another loss at the open amidst a mixed bag for earnings this morning. They're showing a number of macro themes continuing to play out. Rates are up but off their highest level while oil prices starting to ramp up, blah, blah, blah. GM had the most interesting report this morning. The financial margin. Yeah, nothing that sexy out. All right, cool. So let's take a look at this General Motors here real quick. Oh, Zaman, let me take a look at that too. Yeah, so you can see General Motors has got a level right here. I think it's probably worth the gander. You know, it's a thick stock. You know, you got a huge float on it, 1 billion shares. So it's not going to move like the odds of it finishing up 10% today is zero, right? But it's probably got a couple points in us if it sets up. Let's add that to the watch list. Peloton does have a deal with Costco. Peloton collaborating with Costco to sell bikes in the stores, online. So you can see here, you had the big push. Then yesterday, you had a little bit of a rest day. Now you're retesting this breakout spot. I like the longer term look of this. I mean, this was $150. Like it's most likely bottomed out here. As long as it doesn't go bankrupt. So that's got a good look to it. I'd keep it. Let's add that. Good. Now let's kind of rate these things a little bit, right? Because like I told you before, a few days ago, there was 100 setups. My watch list was this long, right? Today, when I'm sifting through the stuff, I don't feel like there's like a grade A setup, something that I have to trade. Like yesterday and the day before, we're like, fuck, we're gonna hit this Oklo, like it's gonna be monstrous, right? And so we had like these kind of trades where we're like, oh, we gotta hit right NNE and we gotta hit Oklo. And we had these kind of setups going, a couple of them. Friday, we're like, wow, we have to hit MSTR, right? So we had like kind of certifiable spots on some charts that we just knew we got to hit. Today, it's not so much, right? There's like, I wouldn't say there's any grade A setup. And so we want to be a little bit careful today and not push your chips in too much, right? I think, order of importance, if we get a dip on NVIDIA, and maybe retest the breakout spot, I think that could be probably something that's a buenos, right? I think this DJT is going to have probably a little bit of juice to it. So, and then we want to keep these crypto stocks on the watch list, like this Wolf. Awesome, right? Like, look at this. It pops up, pulls back to the bone zone, and then you get this like nice trend on it. MSTR, I think, right? It's got a weak open. Let's see if this goes red to green. Yeah, let's see if this one goes red to green. It's got a little bit of a bid on it. All of these things do. Good. And the thing to remember for today is, right, like this QQQ is going to be opening down weak into this support. If we lose this 491.50, we're gonna have like a little bit more weakness, right? So we might go back down to 488, which is not a lot, right? You're talking like another 0.75% or something, but just something to kind of keep in mind of. All right. And guys, remember, we're still in boot camp class. You guys should be coming into them, you know, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. always, right? 8 p.m. The Zoom links are always in your email. They're also in the school community. Make sure you guys have lifetime access to this. You can take boot camps for life. I think we're just starting on the intraday section. We are going to be doing VWAP today. Good. All right, all right. Cool, so let me see this RTX. Yeah, it looks all right. I'm down with it. You got earnings out on this thing? Dude, this is the right sector. Good eye, Kushal. Add this RTX, guys. Right, this is a defense contractor. They are in the business of war. They got a huge trend, right? They're in the business of the war, and they're rolling. I'm into it. Good. Yeah, Meta is like kind of just drifting. I'm not sure if this is a long or short. It's probably a little bit more of just a leave alone. Good. All right, guys.